I'm Ricky Tomlinson, and I've turned detective to hunt for the shirts that the England players wore during the 1966 World Cup final against Germany. Swapped, sold,
£80,000.
forgotten, or simply missing in action. I'm on the trail of the shirts of '66. So far, I've been driving around England looking for clues to the shirt's whereabouts. Last time, I went to see Gordon Banks, whose yellow jersey was swapped with the German goalkeeper Hans Tilkowski. I'll be going to Germany to look for that one, but in the meantime, I'm going to see the two tiny terrors of the team, Nobby Stiles and Alan Ball. As I continue my search, we're also following England in the '66 World Cup. This time, it's England's second game against Mexico.
Well, I'm off to Manchester now. I'm going to see Nobby Stiles. I think Nobby might be able to help me in my quest for the shirts. And if he... Oh, excuse me. Hello? Stan? Stan Boardman? Hello, Stan. Fancy hearing from you. No, well, someone said they seen you the other night, but you died on stage or something. No, I'm only joking. No, I haven't been in touch because I've been looking for the shirts, haven't I? The red shirts from '66. What? You've got Alan Ball's shirt? You're joking me. Oh, no, I can be there in half an hour. I'll be at your place in half an hour. I'll just phone Nobby and tell him I'm going to be late. OK. Thanks a lot, Stan. Thanks, lad. All right, Stan.
Ricky!
Let's have a look at this shirt, lad.
God, come in and have a cup of tea. God, nice to see you, mate.
How have you managed to get hold of Alan Ball's World Cup shirt?
When I was first starting off in showbiz as a comedian, I used to do all the clubs in Liverpool and Manchester and Bolton. Anyway, I stayed there and had a few drinks at the bar with this fella, little ginger fella. Turned out to be Alan Ball's dad. And he was talking about football, and I was talking about football.
You didn't know he was Alan Ball's dad at the time?
I did, actually. And
yeah.
He introduced himself. He said, "Yeah, hi, Stan, I'm Alan Ball's dad." Well, I used to like Alan Ball because of the World Cup. And anyway, we had a few pints, and we went back to his house. And when I went into it, he had a little bungalow. He went up into the loft, and he threw down these shirts that I thought was just an ordinary shirt. Turned out to be a World Cup shirt. So I went home with it, and put it in a frame, and it's been on my wall ever since. But we had to do a bit of decorating.
Come on, let's have a look at the shirt then, Stan.
Come on then, I'll show you. Well, yeah, this is it.
Where is it? You haven't got it in here, have you?
Here's one here. Alan Ball.
I know it's Alan Ball, but that's when he was playing for Everton, isn't it? We don't want the Everton shirt, we want the England shirt.
Yeah, it is. Alan Ball's World Cup '66.
Yeah, but the final shirts were red, that's white one. That must have been one of the earlier rounds, the semis or quarter-finals.
Semi-final.
No, we're after the final, the red one, Stan.
Well, you said the World Cup, and this is the World Cup.
No, it's one of the... But the actual World Cup shirt was red. The lads played in red.
Alan Ball's dad gave me this.
Well, it's not worth the carrot, Stan. But even so, that's a bloody disgrace the way you've got that. You want to once try cleaning, lad.
So it's no good?
The shirts were red.
Well, can't we dye it?
Bloody hell, lad. Pity that, Stan, isn't it? Hey?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's hear this World Cup song that you've written, lad. Let's see if we like it.
Oh, we're all going to Germany for the cup. Oh, we're all going to Germany for the cup. Oh, we're all going to Germany. All going to Germany. All going to Germany for
nice
the
and catchy,
cup.
lad.
Singing aye, aye, yippee, yippee, aye. Singing aye, aye, yippee, yippee, aye. Singing aye aye yippee, the Germans bombed our chippy. Aye aye yippee yippee aye.
I've got to get off, Stan. I've to be seeing Nobby Stiles. I'll see you later. Thanks for that anyway. Can't use that, Stan. Bloody hell, you get us on, lad.
Other 15 races
I will stick him up your... Talk about disappointment. The shape was wrong and the song was crap.
That's one thing I didn't expect in my hunt for the shirts of '66. A false trail and being collared by a comedian. So, back on the road.
I'm here at Old Trafford to talk to Nobby Stiles. Now, Nobby Stiles came to Manchester United when he was a teenager and stayed for almost 14 years.
Nobby Stiles, the young might have. Going to on his own now with a great chance. Stiles is there. He drives in.
In fact, he was like a sitting tenant. Let's go and have a word with him. Nobby, just a man. Can you spare me a couple of minutes?
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much indeed, sir.
There's Stiles onto it now. Can he get a shot in? He gets a shot in.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Nobby, and apparently you signed on here as a young lad, didn't you, at Man United?
I joined them when I was 15 years.
And stayed how long?
14 up to 29, yeah. I was there 14 years, and it was a dream, wasn't it? Playing alongside Bill Foulkes at the back.
Canelli. And another goal by Nobby Stiles.
I joined in July of 1957. I used to clean the boots and the toilets and the bathrooms and all that first thing Monday morning, you know what I mean? And it was terrific. I made my debut for England in 1965. Alf picked me to play in the middle of the midfield. I said, yeah, Alf, I said, you know, I'm getting my recognition playing alongside Bill Foulkes at the back. He said, yes, he said, that is so. He said, but I have to tell you, in that position in the England team, we have a certain Bobby Moore. He said, we also have a certain Norman Hunter. I said, Alf will play midfield. And that was it. And then within 18 months, everything had changed. You know, I had a league title medal and I had a World Cup winners medal. It changed from everything.
Some of the lads were saying like that, you know, they'd put the left boot on first or they'd put the shirt on last, but you had a routine for getting ready, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, very much. Well, I had to, first of all, what I'd do is put a pair of shorts on. I'd then go into the bathroom, warm my feet up, because my feet were always cold. You know, wash them, dry them, put my socks on, put soft soap in my boots, whatever. Come back in then start to put the contact lens in. I had to fill the contacts and put it there and do that and get them ready. And then I go back in again and give them a swill or whatever. Come out again, get a shirt, then put the grease on my face or whatever, Vaseline, put over the top, stop me sweating, going into my eyes and whatever. And so by the end of that, it'd be about 45, 50 minutes.
So let's talk about '66. It started badly against Uruguay, didn't it?
The opening game against Uruguay was, you know, it was a very big disappointment. We played it tight, we couldn't break them down.
We couldn't score, and you could feel the sense of disappointment with the public.
3 days later, we played Mexico, and I got an opportunity to get into side. Even that game was going a bit dour, really, for the first 25 minutes.
After about half an hour, the crowd was starting to mumble. You could hear the undercurrents and things weren't going brilliant.
They defended quite hard, Mexico, but eventually I got the ball.
Bobby Charlton picked up the ball about 20 yards inside our half and went on a mazy run, beat about 4 Mexicans and smashed in the top corner from 30 yards, and it was a fantastic goal.
Charlton, racing through the Mexicans with the ball at his feet, he shoots.
I'm right behind him. Goal. You know right away, and it's lifted us. It's lifted us like anything.
Everything seemed to happen from there. You know, the tension was eased. The crowd got behind us, and that, I think that started it.
And then Roger Hunt scored and we beat them 2-0.
So that's Mexico dealt with. But I hadn't come here purely to reminisce. My main mission? To track down the shirts the England players wore during the 1966 World Cup final.
And what happened to your shirts? You swapped with an England player with your shirts.
That's what with Barley. Me and Barley were big mates. We were big pals, really big pals. We were very close together.
Hey, Barley!
And me and Barley changed. You know, I had the 7.
Can we have a look at the shirt then, Nob?
Yeah, it's a pleasure. As I said, it was Alan's. And at the back,
Yeah, number 7.
as you can see, it's still dirty.
There's this coffee stain there.
Still dirty, yeah. But, yeah.
Do you know whether Alan Ball has still got the shirt or not?
I honestly don't know. As I say, that's been in the cupboard for years and years and years. I don't know if I found it, to be fair.
I'm going to see Alan Ball and I'm going to root it out. Would there ever be a time when you would consider selling the shirt?
Not really, but the only time I would consider it if, like, my kids or my grandkids were struggling, and, oh yes, definitely then. Wearing the white shirt with 3 lines was terrific. But I must admit, when we walked out that day with these shirts on the red, and especially coming from Manchester United, to have that, again, the red, walking out there was unbelievable.
Brilliant, my first red shirt in the bag. Well, at least in Nobby's carrier bag.
Well, thanks for everything, Nobby.
I've enjoyed it, thank you.
It's been a lovely afternoon. God bless you. See you soon.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye-bye.
That was the great Nobby Stiles. Now, Nobby has got Alan Ball's shirt, but has Alan Ball still got Nobby's? I'm off to Southampton to find out. Come on.
So after the break, I'll be talking to the Dynamo midfielder, Alan Ball, and seeing whether Alan was as careful with Nobby's shirt as Nobby was with his. See ya! In part 1, I went to see Nobby Stiles and found out he'd swapped shirts with his mate Alan Ball. Nobby still had Alan's shirt, so that's 1 in the bag for us. So, now for the long journey south to see if Alan still has Nobby's. This detective work is no picnic. A man's got to take a break. At least when Gordon Banks was handed a shirt, he was never uncertain whether it was going to be a number 1 or a number 2.
Well, it's nice to be here, Alan. It's a lovely little place, lad. It's a little bit different from Goodison Park, isn't it, lad? Right in the middle of Walton, Liverpool, where I'm from. But just give us a little potted history of your career, because you started in '62.
I've signed, Blackpool. I'd been rejected by a couple of clubs, Wolves and Bolton, my own time team, but I went on a trial at Blackpool and it went right for me, and within a year I was in the first team.
Oh, that's
amazing.
Cool.
Just a bit of luck, really. Great Stanley Matthews got injured one Thursday, and a little winger called Mandy Hill, he got injured as well. And from nowhere, they brought me in from the youth team, really, and I made my debut at Liverpool, 1962. And we won 2-1 on my debut away at Anfield.
Blimey, that's not a bad start, is it?
Well, great start, wasn't it?
And you made your England debut in '65 against, was it Yugoslavia?
Yugoslavia, Belgrade, yeah. One apiece, never forget it. Barry Bridges scored. He made his debut as well, and so did I.
You were only 19 then?
Yeah.
Blimey,
I was 19 and I'd promised my dad when I'd been rejected, I said, I'll tell you what, Dad, I'll play for England from 20. And he just smiled, like, you know. And I made it with about 4 days to spare.
But you were the youngest player in the England squad of '66, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you was.
The first game of most World Cups is a very ordinary game. Because if you get beat, you know, you're in serious trouble. And then Alf left me out for the next 2 games. And England won 2-0, and they won 2-0. Everybody on a high, good goals, good football, and now they're in the quarter-finals, and I'm thinking, well, that's my World Cup finished. You know, you can't change this team. And I remember him coming into my room, and I was just reading on the bed, and he said, not been yourself of late, young man? I said, well, no, not really. I said, the lads are doing great. I said, it's difficult for me to pick myself up. I didn't think I played particularly badly in the first game. And, you know, it looks as if my World Cup's over. I mean, you know, unless there's injuries or whatever. So, no, I don't feel, you know, all that perky. He said, I don't like that because, you know, you're very much part of this squad and your chirpiness and your, you know, your youthfulness. And I was always playing pranks and messing about. organising things, who's having a game of cards, who's doing this, who's doing that, do this, that, and the other. And he said, I don't know why you're like you are, because you will play against Argentina. And I just couldn't believe it. But he brought me back and he changed a winning team.
When you dropped out for the middle two games, who took your place?
The first game Terry Payne played, and then he left Terry Payne out and played in Callaghan from Liverpool.
Yeah.
So they both played one game each, and then he left them both out and brought me back for the Argentina.
And you stayed then right through to the game?
And we won, and then I stayed in for the semi-final.
When did Alf actually tell you were playing in the final?
He told me on the morning of the game. It was amazing. People will find that strange because it was such a late thing, but we'd been together that long, we'd been a group of players that long, we all knew our jobs. Dead ball starts, free kicks, corners, for and against. So if you were brought into the team, you knew exactly where to go and what to do. So that wasn't a problem. And we went to the pitches on the Friday night in Hendon, and I couldn't believe it when we came back to the hotel and he didn't announce the team. I knew the majority of people would be playing because the goalkeeper was fit, Banksy, the back four were all fit, so they were going to play. Bobby Charlton was going to play because he was fit. Nobby was fit, so he was going to play. And I remember speaking to my father on the Friday night, and my dad asking me if I'd been picked. I said, I don't know, Dad. And he said, what do you mean you don't know? I said, I don't know. And typical Northern, he said, well, I don't know whether I can afford to come down there if you're not playing. Which, you know, as they did. I said, well, I'll let you know as soon as I know. I said, it'll be in the morning now. And next morning I got up and I thought, well, I'll get down early, I'll go and have my breakfast. And I went down and Alf was in the breakfast room. And he came over to me and he said, I'm going to keep the same team that played against Portugal. You will play right side of midfield. Congratulations. Have a great day, son.
And did you phone your dad then? Or
I flew upstairs to the phone.
You?
Yeah.
And your dad got there for the game?
He did, even though I remember him saying, I'll Philip Morris Minor up and I'll get down.
Fingers crossed, Nobby. It's time to pop the question. Has Alan got your shirt?
You swapped with Nobby Stiles, I believe.
Well, Nobby and I were very close. We'd grown up and we were roommates at that particular time, and we'd come into the squad together, and you know, we were great pals. Well, still aren't at this day. And at the end of it, they said, look, whatever happens, if we get to the final or what, you know, we'll swap our shirts. And as Alf used to say, it's entirely up to you at the end of the game whether you want to swap your England shirt or you keep it. And Nobby and I swapped. So like every kid, I took all my washing home to my mum. In it went. Shirt, socks, the lot. In it went. And off I went on my holidays for a few days. And when I came back, they were all bubble wrapped and nice and smart, and up in the loft they went. And then, you know, I went on with my life, really. And then my mum said to me, there's a television shop in Bolton who wanted a World Cup display, probably about 4 years later, for 70, and they've asked, you know, for the shirt. And so I said, well, there's no problem about that. And she said, Dad's going to get us a telly for the World Cup so we can watch the World Cup for lending them the shirt. And I never thought another thing about it until my father died sadly in a car crash, and I was going through things, and I said, you know, whatever happened to Nobby's World Cup shirt? She said, darling, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to try and find out where it is, you know. I'd love to find out, wouldn't you?
Oh, it'd be smashing, yeah.
Well, let's hope we're lucky in finding you.
Lovely.
Bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
After saying goodbye to Alan, it was time for the cuppa and some thinking. After ringing round my contacts in the collecting world, they had uncovered an intriguing story. Alan's dad had got the shirt back from the television shop, but he had later given it away to a drinking pal. That drinking pal had sold it on to a football fan, and the football fan had in turn contacted Christie's, the auctioneers, not to sell it, but to find out if it was the genuine article, which it was. I got back on the road as the fan said he'd meet me at an agreed location.
I'm here at the Hendon Hall Hotel. Now, in 1966, the England World Cup squad were based here for the whole of the tournament, so it became like their second home. So 40 years later, I'm back here to try and find the shirt belonging to Nobby Stiles.
Having waited for an hour, I was thinking my contact was a no-show. It was just like one of those Cold War stories of suspense and mystery. Had someone else gotten to him before me? But then...
Hello? Well, have I got a pleasant surprise. Our mysterious football fan finally turned up. But he wishes to remain anonymous, and I have to respect that wish. But he did what he said he was going to do. He brought me one of our missing shirts. Nobby Stiles' number 4. I bet you're thrilled, aren't you, Nobby? It's the Rail McCoy. Nice one, Nobby.
To recap on my hunt so far, well, I've opened up the investigation on Gordon Banks' shirt. That's trapped in Germany. That'll take a bit more work. But I've solved the whereabouts of Alan Ball's and Nobby Stiles's. Fantastic. Let's hope I'm as lucky next time when I'll be looking for Roger Hunt's and George Cohen's and trying to get to the bottom of the mystery that surrounds the captain's shirt belonging to the late, great Bobby Moore.
When it got to 20,000, we thought, crikey, this could go anywhere.
44,000. You sure? You regret it in the morning when you wake up.
And I'll be looking at England's next game against France. See you then.
Oh, we're all going to Germany for the cup.
And Ricky's Red Vest quest continues at the same time next Saturday here on UKTV Gold. Next tonight, though, one of the original shirt wearers pops up in a footy special of Wogan Now and Then.
Singing aye, aye, yippee, yippee, aye. Singing aye.